all
Yes.
because
Well, you know,
thinking when we're in our lower nature.
and that's the thing. And I want to let for those who are on their computers, our computers come back up. So if you'd like to join our Facebook page, we are still live on Blog Talk. And this is the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. And now we're in the after show, and we've got some people on the line, which we're going to continue our conversation because it is critical that we heal and maintain immunity from illness by the ways that have been taught us by the many master teachers that have come among us. But these ways of healing only work if we work them. And we have an opportunity to get out of this syndrome of fear by using the teachings that have been given to us. So we're talking now with Mama AZ from Arizona. We've been talking to Sister Rashida from Chicago, and who asked a very important question that probably many of us need to reflect on, and that is how to heal, especially when we've had a lifetime of physical, mental, and emotional assaults. And healing is possible. The first healing must come from the mind, because we are constantly recalling negative thoughts that re-establish the pain that we experienced. It might have been only been one incident, but we keep reliving it. But you said something, Mama AZ, which I think is an important thing for people to recognize, that everybody grows, everybody evolves in their understanding. So every experience is designed to teach you where you are in your evolution toward realization and remembrance of oneness. What is oneness? Oneness is understanding that we are all one universal energetic system. We're all connected everywhere, not just on this planet, but throughout the universe. But particularly on this planet, as Mama AZ pointed out, this is like a boot camp where you got all these people of different levels of understanding interacting, and some people are at that low level, as you said, Mama AZ, that low level of understanding where they believe they can feel better if they hurt somebody or take something from somebody or have power over somebody. They're believing that because they don't understand oneness. They don't understand unity. They don't understand that we're all part of one energy system. So they contribute negative energy because they don't understand. And we are hearing from very powerful people, such as you mentioned, Minister Farrakhan, as he continues to grow in wisdom, give a wider understanding that will help us in our growth. There was a time when people felt good about spewing a lot of anger because of what had happened with the enslavement experience. And we felt powerful if we showed anger and called names of people who were wearing white skin. We felt like somehow that made up for the hurt, the degradation, the humiliation, the powerlessness. So now I'm going to feel powerful if I call you a name. Well, now we've grown out of that. It's not necessary to call people names, because people have only manifested whatever their understanding gave them. And wearing a certain skin color doesn't connect you to other people who wear that same skin color and what they did. You are only responsible for the actions you did inside your body. You're not responsible for the actions other people did who are wearing a body that looks similar to yours. That's a wrong thought. I am responsible for what I did inside this body. If someone who's wearing a body that looks similar to mine robs a grocery store, I'm not responsible for that. That's what they did inside that body. I didn't do that. So if the police stop me and say, well, you look like that person who robbed the store, well, okay, I may look like them, but I'm not them. I'm a whole different soul. And so your responsibility as one who is striving to find the person responsible for that act is to find the soul that's responsible, not to keep punishing people who are wearing a body that looks like the person who did the act. Because that's not the person. And we who are projecting a lot of anger and holding a lot of anger at people who are wearing bodies that look similar to people who did things that were unjust, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Those are not the people. They're just wearing a body that looks similar. And when we understand that, we will let go of the anger. We will let go of the anger that's making us sick. So it really is a matter of us growing in our understanding. So Mama AZ, you were making another point. Go right ahead.
Okay, I was on mute. Family, I mean, it's very important that you look up Dane Calloway. In order for all of us to heal, no matter what shade we are in, we must research. We must dig for truth. That's why I say to Dr. V, I used to say you had this invisible hatchet, but her hatchet has really changed into gold. Because Dr. V is the life path of the seven, and so am I. And there are many sevens I've been observing here in this facility in Devon Gables, and here in Tucson, and they are all ones that won't stop until the truth is exposed. And Dan Calloway, I'm not sure of what his life path is, but that buddy is no joke. So I suggest that you research and just look at some of his millions and jillions of information on slavery. And again, family, we're in this together. Caucasian people have had slaves. Indigenous people have had slaves, whether you want to know it or not. Minister Farrakhan doesn't talk about that. I think it should be talked about, family. I really do. And that's my thought.
Well,
because it has to do with control. It has to do with power. Who is better? And I get some of the worst treatment sometimes from the people that look like me.
Well,
Even in my own family.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Mama AZ. I'm glad you brought that up. And for those who are watching, we're now on the after show on the Female Solution. We did have some technical difficulties, so we're extending a bit of time. We were doing the joint rolling, and the computer got disconnected. So I'm gonna allow you all who are watching. You can join me in the higher learning hip roll that we learned how to do. If you've been sitting a long time and you're a little behind, is a little sore, you want to just roll those hip joints back and forth in your chair, as you can see if you're watching me on Facebook Live. But I'm glad you brought that up, Mama AZ, because what we are souls inside a body. Having a learning experience that's designed to ultimately teach us and guide us to that highest vibration, which is unconditional love, which is the vibration of the Creator. That's where we came from, and that's what we're striving to get back to. But we are all souls having various experiences so that we can understand. And we understand here, especially in this Earth School, we understand love by experiencing not love. So people who are needing control over others, people who want to feel power over others, They're believing that they're going to feel better if they have power over others. And sometimes they can descend to that very, very low vibration of committing acts of torture and cruelty. That's a very, very low vibration. We experience that. Many people, as you said, many people across the globe have inflicted that on others. People who are white have inflicted on people who are white. People who are Asian have inflicted on people who are Asian. I should say European, because, you know, white doesn't really. People from various parts of the globe, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa. So everywhere has experienced conditions where some souls wanted the experience of having power over others. And what you learn from that experience, what is that saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you have the power over life and death, you become, as they say, drunk with power. The power to beat someone, the power to torture them, the power to force them to do things out of fear of pain. We have had that happen all across the globe. And what souls who participate in that learn is that is a very corrupting position to put oneself in, where you have such power over someone else, you can misuse them with impunity. It corrupts your soul. That's the learning experience that you have from that. And one who, yes.
I'd also like to comment, and thank you so much of the show yesterday. You know, I'm grateful that I am so abundantly grateful, as Priestess Lurdina says, abundantly grateful to be on this planet, on this side of the dirt at this particular time, because it just shows me how things are changing in a major way. The show yesterday made me so proud. I know I was emotional, but what I'm getting at is that you, Dr. Lateef, how insightful you were before you came back to this incarnation, and also Dr. Green, Debbie Green, how insightful she was. Because if I did not know that she was an indigenous person, the knowledge that she brought forth was like the knowledge from European people, Caucasian people, and family. It's time that we tell our own story, our own indigenous. Everybody has a piece of the information, the puzzle.
Absolutely.
And we got to get away from, if it's not a Caucasian or European or however you want to say it, person saying it or stating it, it's not, it's a fact. We all, like you, Dr. Lateef, like you, Dr. Debbie Green, it just makes me proud. It makes me, I'm sitting here in the sun, by this California pepper tree, and I'm feeling the energies of the sun and the ancestors, and again, indigenous people who look like us, we must tell our own her story, his story, not something that a European or a Caucasian person, or however you want to put it, switched it around, and then even us as melanation station people, indigenous people, we have junk that we switch around too. So we have got to get to the bottom of the pot, to the true family. And I just had to say that. And I'm going to post that show, yesterday's show, on my page.
Well, yes, I think, and I agree, that when we tell the truth, everybody has done good, and not good to each other. And everybody has an experience that can help the collective body of humanity to grow. Everybody has knowledge, everybody has wisdom. And I want to point out a thing that we say all the time. Well, we had kings and queens in Africa. Well, okay, I understand we say that so that we understand that being Black did not mean being a slave. That was not a permanent identity, that there were also other designated hierarchies in our society. But what does that also mean? You had people who put themselves above other people as more worthy, people who had power over others. Now, that can be good and not good. Because if you have the idea that someone is of greater value than another person, we also, yes, we had people who had kingdoms, people who were considered royalty, and we also had people who were considered slaves. So having a society in which there is inequality, that's not good. I mean, it's what happened, but it also created the environment where, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you can have a ruler, a king that decides his family gets all of the privileges, all of the wealth, and they decide some other family gets deprived of what they need and must scuffle and suffer. Is that a good thing? Well, no. It's contrary to that divine understanding of oneness. So, yes, we like to say, well, we had kings and queens in Africa. We had kings and queens in Europe and Asia and everywhere else. And everywhere where there was kings and queens, there was corruption of people wanting to have power over others. So we should have learned from that, because the ultimate demonstration of the corruption of the soul, of the spirit, of the heart and mind was demonstrated in America with American slavery. But it wasn't the only time it happened in history. Everybody has had a time when they took a group of people and treated them cruelly. So that's not something to boast about. It's something to learn from. But yes, we had all of that. So you're right, Mama AZ. We had all of this. Europeans had corruption. They had kingdoms and oppression and cruelty. And we talked about that in past shows. So Asians, when I went to Korea and saw the War Memorial Museum, they took me to the museum. They had centuries and centuries and centuries of abuses of people. So it is global. And when we can comprehend that the human experience is a global experience, then we, as African descendant people, can let go of this anger that keeps us from moving forward to the abundance that is already here for us, but we can't grasp it because we keep going back to painful memories that keep us in a low vibration of hurt and pain and suffering. We're doing this of our own free will. We're not hurting people who are wearing bodies that have lighter colored skin. We're not hurting anybody but ourselves. We're holding on to anger over a past event and reliving the pain. For what purpose? For what purpose? We can take that same energy and envision building a wonderful society and then creating that society. Now, some people say, oh, well, we did that in Black Wall Street, and see, they came and they bombed it. Okay, yeah, that happened. And do we keep going back to that time in history and reliving the pain of that? Or do we envision rebuilding and building an even better society, cooperating with each other, using our collective skills? Are we going to envision that and manifest that? Or are we going to keep going back to a painful experience and reliving the pain and staying in the vibration of that pain? It's a choice that we're making. And we have to choose to create and stop miscreating based on being stuck at a moment in pain. So our bodies communicate with us to let us know that we are stuck in our minds at a point where something hurt us and we keep reliving it. That's what the physical illness is. It's a manifestation of the mental state that keeps creating a low vibration and causes our bodies to manifest that low vibration with physical illness. If we raise our vibration, master our thoughts, we change the energy of our bodies. And the natural state is not sickness. The natural state is health and well-being. So we must create health and well-being as a state of being. And we have the power to do that. And we have always had the power. Makes me think of The Wizard of Oz. Those of you who remember the Records, they show it every year. When the good witch told Dorothy that she always had the power to go home, but she just had to go through some experiences so that she could learn that. And that's what we're learning here on planet Earth. We always had the power to manifest absolute perfect health at all times. We always had the power. But we have to go through these things to learn that. We have to go through the periods in history where we abused each other, where we deprived each other, where we mistreated each other. We have to go through periods where we allowed ourselves to be oppressed because we feared death. And we didn't understand that there is no death. There's only transition back to the non-physical from where we came. We have to go through things to get to the point that was always accessible to us. And that's what the Earth School is all about. Learning. That's why there's no punishment. There's no punishing God waiting to beat you and burn you and make you suffer. That's coming from the mind of fearful people who are projecting their fears onto the divine mind of creation that has not given you pain because you acted in ignorance. So if we want to be healthy and maintain health, we have to do that most important number one thing, and that is forgive. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive them. They're at a state of understanding that they don't understand. They're still thinking we're separate people, and these people are enemies, and these people are evil, and these people are devils, and these people are superior. They're still believing what's incorrect, and they're acting according to their lack of understanding. That's what they're manifesting. And until they learn better, they're going to keep manifesting that behavior. Forgive them for what they have done. And then create a condition where you are not subjected to what other people are doing because of their lack of understanding. And that's the next thing, because many people are under distress, fearing they're going to be forced to to adhere to a medical procedure, fearing they're going to be violated in some way physically. Stop projecting that thought into the future. Stop projecting that belief. Stop projecting that fear, because thoughts become reality. Project instead the strong belief that after we go through this experience, we will come to the understanding that we are responsible for our health and well-being. We will come to the understanding that if we follow the guidance given to us by the spiritual masters who've come among us to teach. We will maintain our health in a natural way because Mother Earth is here to give us health and maintain our health. If we don't misuse Mother Earth, if we don't misuse each other, if we treat each other well, we will maintain a state of health and well-being. When we come out of this experience, we will have learned that. Project that thought into the future, not the fearful thought, oh, people are going to come and snatch me away and make me take a shot. Stop projecting that fear. Stop it. Create the future reality that we have the power to create. Create that thought in your mind, create the vision in your mind, and you will raise your vibration to where that reality exists and it will manifest. After this experience, after this learning experience, after this global demonstration of the reality that we are all connected to each other, all influencing each other's health and well-being, after we experience this demonstration, we will come to the understanding that we always had the power to create perfect health and to maintain perfect health naturally. We will come to that understanding, and then we will manifest a lifestyle that creates a state of health and well-being. That is what is at the end of this Corona adventure. So we appreciate all of you who have stayed with us. And I'm going to open up one more mic before we go. Got about a minute. And I believe we've got Minister Plump at 312-671. And thank you for staying with us, Minister Plump. I know you have spoken of health challenges. I hope that what we shared today assists in your process of healing, and healing and health and well-being is there for you, and it may be a process, but it is there. So were you helped today by what we have shared with our listening and viewing audience?
Hallelujah. Yes. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
That means we are one.
We are one. Yes.
We're one universe.
Yes,
and I am happy. And this is mind over matter. I am healthy. I am wealthy. And I am wise. And I like for you all to continue the education, because that's a part of our purpose with the Harold Washington Foundation.
Absolutely.
Education, yes, ma'am, charitable education, as well as education in atonement, and that is to forgive and keeping it real so we can live. That's the greatest message and the most powerful one is what Jesus
Women
said.
have the power to
give them what they know, not what they do.
Absolutely.
And, that's where we begin the healing, and healing equals to 23. Thank God for the female solution. We love you.
We love you. But thank you, Minister Plump. We love you all, and thank all of you for participating, and thank all of you for your contributions to this discussion. And we are now about to leave Blog Talk and Facebook and YouTube. Of course, you can go in the archives and hear the whole show, and all 10 of these steps to raising your vibration and remaining immune to illness.
Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, India, Dhanyabad. Belgium, France, merci, Spain, gracias, Italy, grazie, Egypt, shukran, Ghana, Madasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Yabonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.